Greetings, fellow Sumerians. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Sumerians, Episode 3, A City of Canals. We did it! Nope. I'm missing a wall section somewhere. I think. Are we? Really? Oh, maybe it's not built yet. It's just delivered. These are in-progress walls. Didn't quite do it. Come on, builders. My canal diggers, apparently don't know to go start at the water and work their way inland, but that's fine. They're getting around to it. We also have now more state workers that could be hired out. So I am going to hire a bunch more people working in the temple to increase religious authority to drive up immigration. I don't really have housing at the moment for these immigrants. But now that we're really starting to feed ourselves, and we are working on developing... Oh yeah, here we go. So now that I've provided a mud wall, as you can see, all these houses are upgrading to tier 2. So what I want to do is to set up a guard post and a doctor's. And I think I'm going to try to actually remove these two houses here and to set them up right in the middle. Meaning I have just displaced some people, but I'll fix that for them. The guard post and doctor. And then I'll put in some additional housing districts like that. Put another well in there. And then maybe a lawn garden right in front of the guard shack. And I'm not going to use too many bricks yet. I'll put a statue there. Because bricks are used to upgrade walls to tier 2, which is another big upgrade. Plus, these buildings, these doctors and guard post require a lot of bricks. Our warehouse is almost full. I might want a second one. So let's set up, current priority right now is to provide beer. So in order to do that, we're going to want a clay pit, which is very much like a mud pit, but clay, and it needs to go into an irrigated section. So I'm going to set up my clay pits right next to my mud pit. Like that. And then also, I'm going to set up a warehouse that's going to be for clay and mud. For pottery, specifically. And then next to the clay pits, I'll put a potter's... You know what? No, I'm okay with this. So, my pause was... In order to make beer, you need to provide pottery and wheat, or barley in this case. And it sometimes makes sense to put them together, adjacent to one another. This small warehouse right here is what has the grain. But I think what I'm going to do is to maybe move the grain down to this warehouse, meaning that my transporters transport it from the farms to here. Which means, in order to cut down on travel time, I'm going to actually change where that is, just to be slightly closer to the farm fields, because transport time is a major factor to be considered when trying to plan production. The further people have to travel, the less productive they are. So I'll put my clay pits there, put my pottery workshop here. So that there's not a lot of travel time between the clay and the pottery. And then the brewery will go here, which is kind of next to this wheat warehouse. And then I'm going to put a separate warehouse next to the brewery to stockpile the clay and the beer, and then the wheat will come from here. So this warehouse here, I'm going to pause for a second and only have it be grain. So this is just purely a granary. And eventually I'll unlock granaries and I'll build a dedicated granary, and I'll probably build it here next to the brewery. Oh, this is about to be opened. Canal time. There we go. And as you can see, the extra irrigation opens up a huge amount of farmable land, thanks to the canals. What I'm going to do is, before I delete the builders, let's put in a few canal bridges. Although the builders, I don't think, build the canal bridges. The canal bridges are just like instantly done for free. There we go. So now we could travel the other side, and I don't need this builder anymore. Bye-bye. Go find work elsewhere. So this here is not going to accept grain, but everything else. And I'm only going to have one warehouse worker in there because I don't need a lot of capacity at the moment. These clay pits, I'm going to close one of them entirely. And the other one is just going to go like one person for now, because we're very quickly hitting max. I've also hit this exclamation mark right by my head here, which indicates, like, it just shows you an overlay. So like my builders, for instance, are nearly full of mud. So I'm going to say max 150 now, and then put bricks in here up to 150. Another thing I'm going to do with this builder is add some additional walls over here for another section of city. Which will need its own donkey transport system to supply the mud. So I'll put that there. Doctors and guards are still underway, as is the pottery workshop. So the current priority really is not just provide beer, it's beer, medical, and security. Kind of all on one. So in order for these houses to upgrade another level, they need water access of at least medium, land value of at least low, mud walls, security of at least medium, and health of at least medium. So I'm essentially working towards housing level 3. And the benefit of this stuff is that it's, you know, your population and taxes and wealth and all that. Where is the... Yeah, taxes. So here's, you can see the tax screen from the... And as the private workshops and the houses go up in level, I get more taxes. Now for the canal experiment. True. Let's do that. It seems to work. Yeah, I don't think the game cares. I'd actually like to see that built. It's weird to, I don't... No, it's not true. My transporters, yeah, I could get that built. Let's build it. At the moment, it looks like the holdup is a brickyard. So I'm going to increase the amount of people that work in the brickyard and then decrease the amount of people that work as transporters so that I'm moving them over to the brickyard. Nope, I'm still... that didn't work. Where to pull people from? I'll pull them from the temple. There we go. Because I think what ended up happening is they just all moved in to become transporters elsewhere. One thing I did not do is add gates to this extra area. So, unfortunately, good job, guys, but you're going to have to, like, destroy your progress because I want gates in this section. I don't want it to be holed up. Now, what I might end up doing is, for the administration and for the religion, should admin and religion have its own walled in areas? Yes, and together. Yes, and separated. Or no, have it around the residences. So we can have you guys decide that. Should I have a temple district and a administration district? Should I have them together, no separation of church and state? Or should I have them interspersed around the housing? Totally up to you. Well, there you have it. Mud wall somehow not blocking a canal. And there's no problem there. So if we wanted to do canals in the city, we can. And I can pull on that next. So I'll give you 2.5 minutes to vote on this one, and then I'll ask again about the canals. Uh-oh. Our warehouse is, like, full. Granary is way down here, so it's going to be a while until we research granary. So until then, let's allow grain to be here, but I'm not going to fill... I'm going to say grain up to 800 so that it doesn't fill this second warehouse full of grain. Yep. Walls can go right over canals. It doesn't seem to be an issue at all. Cool. Science. We just scienced the hell out of that. The guard post is about to get done, and I'm going to need to shift around some state workers to be able to actually put people as an employment in there. Same with the doctors. All the bricks have been delivered. With all the bricks delivered, I could probably reduce my brickyard, but I might want to keep the brickyard full going, because the walls that we have are going to need to go from mud to brick at some point. So what I'm doing is I'm creating orders for these transporters to deliver brick from the 2 brickyards that I have to the builders that are in the middle of the city, so that when I want to upgrade my walls from mud to brick, we can do that. And here we go. Doctors and guard post. So, your doctor, or your guard post and your doctors have different security levels depending on what you supply them. So right now, I don't have any leather at all. I'm not producing leather. So I'm not even going to bother hiring guards because they can't do anything for me at the moment. For doctors, you start being able to do it with just nothing, just doctors without, supplies. And then you can increase the health level to high and very high with wool, and then eventually linen and sesame, or wool and sesame. So I want to hire some initial doctors, and I'll be doing that in just a sec. I'm not sure where to pull from. And you guys want them built together. Okay. And we also have a pottery workshop. Oh god, I have so many potters. So let's reduce my amount of potters down to 2. And then next to the pottery workshop, we will do a brewery. So I have 5 doctors, and the more doctors that you have, the wider your radius, your supply, your employment's radius is. So if you want to fill up the area, you can hire more of them. But here you can see, like, right now the health is low, so I'm going to need more doctors, like let's say maybe 6, to cover this initial square with healthcare. So I will hire, or I'll fire some people out of their current jobs to move them where they're needed. That work? Yeah, there we go. So now we have 6 doctors. Healthcare is now medium for all houses in this initial square. We are researching signs and numbers so that I can have more state workers. And then once I get signs and numbers researched, I'm going to start providing leather. That's going to be the next big thing. So the current priorities right now is provide beer and leather and build a gov district. So I think I am going to put a government district here, where I have my administration and my temple. Actually, let's use the wall lock so that they're straight. My my temple and my government stuff in this spot. Okay. I will move the transporters for that. The other thing I might want to do, my transporters might not, they might not overlap the mud and the walls. I'll see about that. I may need to pull a canal in. So the other thing that I wanted to ask is, should I start to use canals and shadufs through the walls? It would not be so detrimental for me to have to, like, redesign the initial square for canals and shadufs. It's really up to you. But I'm fine to do it either way. Well, everything's going smooth. So we have a pottery. So I'm going to start tracking pottery up here too. And then I am also going to track clay and beer, now that we have a brewery. And in order to get the brewery going, we might want to fire some people from somewhere else to do it. So I'm going to reduce the amount of production transporters I have. I'm going to actually tell my production transporters to deprioritize farming entirely as the last. And then my brewery, I'm going to have is just like 5 people. So I have 145 out of 150 state workers. That's I'll put 5 back in the transport. There we go. So with the brewery here, I want these transporters. I'm going to cancel the order for the builders, and their highest priority is going to be this. I want them to deliver grain from this warehouse to the brewery, and then I want them to deliver pottery from the pottery workshop to the brewery, or if there's no pottery there, from the warehouse to the brewery, so that we get beer. And then once they're done with that, deliver the beer from the brewery to the warehouse. And then after that, we could do bricks from the brickyard to the builder's hut, and I'll do both brickyards. Cool. So that should help to get the brewery up and running, so that we actually get, and there we go. Now we actually have brewers brewing beer. Beer is very, very important for like work efficiency, to increase efficiency and reduce spoilage. Some buildings, like this brewery itself, can also be given fabrics or cured meat to increase efficiency. But like a farm, for instance, just relies on beer. So every building has its own. Most buildings will have beer. Some will have other things as well. And you guys do want me to use shadows and canals, so let's start working on them. I think they're very pretty, so I might actually replace the wells that I have with shadows and canals. The one problem I foresee is like, we're going to have to destroy some of our initial setup to allow for a canal. So I think what I'll do is I will bring water in here and run it up into the city. Oh, I can just like go right through. Swank. Let's get a builder here and a builder there for it. So what I'll probably end up doing is start from the end. Yeah, I'm none of it really matters until all of it is built, so I don't really care the order that they build in, personally. Yeah, now we're starting to get beer. I'm going to offer beer to my farmers first, so that the farmers and the transporters that work at the farm work more efficiently, so that we have a very steady supply of grain for the city to thrive. I also have enough pottery to buy artifacts for the mud temple to increase the religious authority of this mud temple. And then we're waiting to build the small temples and the other governmental buildings, like the temple administration, which is unlocked at 2,000 citizens in this temple district. So the current priority right now is to provide leather and dig canals. So, speaking of leather, let's go ahead and get livestock. And I'm going to want 2 things of livestock. And these are going to be much larger than my initial one of just donkeys. We're going to get cattle for meat and leather, and we're going to get sheep for meat, leather, and wool. The different types are here. You have cattle, sheep, donkeys, and ox. And I'm not worried about ox yet because I don't have wheel carts unlocked. Plus, once you get ox or oxen, you only really need like a small thing like donkeys. You don't need a giant area for them. This brewery can't fit any more beer. So I'm going to reduce the amount of... ooh, pottery just got stolen there. I'm going to reduce the amount of workers that are actually brewing the beer, because I don't need them idle. And then I need to add more workers in this warehouse, because this warehouse is filling up fast. So with the beer supplied to these farmers, they will work more efficiently and have less spoilage and damage over time, which should increase the yields of these farm fields. And same with the transporters here. They will work faster, and that should really help out in the long run. So after I get signs and numbers, let's then get mosaics. Mosaics will allow us to have a small temple. Yeah, look at that grain from providing beer. Almost 5k grain. That's got to be a record. 6k grain, got to be a big old record, right? Because of how efficient they just got, having supplied all that beer to the workers. Really incentivized. Really incentivized for them to work hard. I'm going to reduce the transporters down I have from 13 to 10. And then I am going to buy 2 cattle in the livestock and 2 sheep. With all that extra grain that I just got, I'm going to reduce the amount of builders I have digging the canals so that I can actually have livestock workers working up here. So now we actually have livestock workers starting to breed cows and sheep. So the sheep will help with medicine to be able to supply wool. So we'll start tracking wool. And then I'm also going to want to track leather. Although I'm not producing leather yet, I'm going to want to track salt. And that's it for now. Salt and wool. So I can now build a salt pond and a tannery. The salt for the salt pond can be used to supply salt for your tanneries or salt for the meat curing. Why is there 0 fish? There's 0 fish just because my fish market's not super productive. It's just, you don't tend to get a ton of fish from fish markets. If I wanted more fish, I could build more fishing wharfs. But right now, actually, that's a good point. I have a lot of jobless in the community right now, so let's actually get some more fish wharfs. Because that will help with the fact that there's no fish to sell. Essentially, like, our fishermen are just not catching a lot, given our total population. There we go. So now we have tons of fish wharves. Maybe we start to get more fish. And that also just probably solved a lot of the jobless. Yes, it did. Beautiful. And I'm going to tell these builders to do nothing but canals. They're just canal diggers. All right, other businesses that could benefit from beer. Let's start supplying, as long as I have a positive supply of beer, start supplying beer to the Council of Elders. So here's the difference. A Council of Elders with no beer, if we go to the science here, it's 28 daily science. Supply beer to them, and it is... Yeah, and I think it needs to update. But it will be higher than that, allowing us to research faster. Magic that my drunken researchers work faster when they're drunk. Right, so we just finished food preservation. Nice. I'm going to say always keep 4 for breeding, so that there can't be like a big culling. And supply beer to the livestock workers as well. One thing that you'll notice is like our beer will bottom out a lot. So we'll also get some more brewers too. And I'll need to shift some of the workforce in order to allow for that. Actually, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to do signs, numbers, and marriage contracts so I get more state workers. Right now, like, I'm pretty bottlenecked on the amount of state workers that I have, so I'd rather have more state workers. Oh boy, that wheat harvest. I'm just going to burn a little extra of my grain to buy cattle that I don't really need because our warehouses were full. What improves security? Guard posts. And guard posts require leather. So once this livestock field fills up from max population, they'll start killing the animals for meat and leather, and I'll start tracking meat and leather up here too. So meat and hides. So once our meat and hides become non-zero, I'll build a tannery to tan the hides into leather so that our guards wear leather armor and can actually provide security. Because guard posts without any armor aren't guards. They don't work. They don't do anything productive. And then these transporters should only be going for wall mud brick supply. Oh, all right. My state worker research got done. So now the livestock has 16 workers, as does the other one. I'm going to increase the amount of brewers that I have to keep up with all the new people that we're trying to get drunk. And we're blowing through the numbers research too. So that will be done shortly. Yeah, beer is one of those things like you simply can't have enough of. More breweries. I'm really curious if these transporters are actually transporting mud. One thing I could do, it's not a terrible idea, is dig a canal from here down. Oh, why is it going in a 90-degree angle? Don't do that. Lemus, thank you for the resub. Cheers. So once numbers is done, I should have enough state workers to pretty much keep all of my things running the way I want it until I add more infrastructure. Taking a look at the... There's 53 available jobs. So we're also going to want to maybe redesign the living area a little bit to add some additional housing. And to try to maximize it so that we have as many people living here as possible. Yes, I know I sound like a slumlord, but, you know, you're incentivized to do stuff like that. Let's go ahead and get these transporters up to max so I can just get the temple district built. And we have so many more state workers, which is great. So where do I want them? I want more production haulers. And then more brewers. And we're just trying to match the amount so that we... Yeah, we just... I'll get a lot. Let's go max brewer... Or, no, I don't have enough people for that. Go up to 10 brewers. Try and supply that beer. Now, a lot of these walls are not getting built because I don't have builders nearby. So once I have the canals dug, which they're getting kind of close to, you know, I would say half the canals are dug, we'll have our builders prioritize this area because a lot of this canal, or a lot of this governmental district is outside of the these builders' areas. Huh, I wonder where that leather came from. I don't know. I'm not producing it. So our cattle is now very close to maximum. So now we're starting to get meat and hides. And the sheep are about half max. So it's going to be a little while until we get wool. We do have wool and fleece though. So I lied. We could get wool now. We just have to spin it. So in order to do that, let's get to it. I am going to set up another warehouse here. And this warehouse is going to drive the meat and wool-based productions, which means I'm going to want a salt pond here, and this salt pond needs to be irrigated from this canal. So if it wants to get irrigated from that canal, I need to actually dig that canal. So let's get that canal dug now. So first thing, I'll build a builder out there for the canal digging. I did just get more state workers, so I'll be able to hire people for that soon. Hey, bud. And then, likewise, we need builders down here for the temple district. Because the mud is getting delivered to all these mud walls, but not actually constructed because we don't have any builders in the area. Do donkeys have a lifespan? Not that I know of. Could be wrong. So after mosaics, what to research next? So we could do transporters or wheeled vehicles. So oxen carts. We could also push towards warehouse and granary. So add that too. Or to do metallurgy. You guys can pick. Actually, there was one other that I wanted to add there. Sorry. We could work towards loom, which is pretty important too. Because I'm not going to be able to provide wool without a loom. So, there you go. Loom is down this way. I'll have you pick between those 4 options. All right. These builders are only canal diggers too, so have them focus on digging the canal. And then this warehouse is going to say no grain at all. Don't accept grain. They are going to want to accept salt, leather, meat, etc. So I'm going to say none, and then I'll say leather is okay, cured meat is okay, salt's okay, wool's okay. That's it. Dyed wool, I guess. Fabrics, linen, blacks. And I don't need a lot of people working there at the moment. Alright, how's my employment? We have 95 available jobs. Huh. We have no one moving in, though. Oh, it's probably because of my religious demand is really low. So I'll hire more temple workers, and then we should get more immigration, as they're very related to one another. Thank you for tuning in to Sumerians, which originally streamed live on Twitch November 28th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, a link can be found in the description of this video or at Rhadamant.com. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream of another game. Farewell, my fellow Sumerians.